Hi, I'm Pixel, and welcome to my arcade, where you can find only the raddest bits of trivia, no tokens needed. Today's game is a special one. It's the game that I came from, Starshell. Starshell was a beat-em-up released in June of 1989 for arcades. You play as Mike, a citizen of the beautiful city of Twilight Cove. One day, Mike finds a fragment of the legendary magical Starshell. The local gang, the Barracudas, attacks him and tries to steal it. It's now up to Mike, with some help from his friend Nicole, to find the other pieces of the Starshell before the Barracudas do. I was a non-player character who ran the power-up shop. I'd sold stuff like strength upgrades and the occasional special move, you know? I couldn't really see much of the city since I was kinda stuck at my store, but from time to time, I could hear the waves in the distance and see the lights of the boardwalk. Mike would tell me about what was going on outside, not just in town, but in the real world. One day, I decided to see what was beyond my little shop. I gathered up all the code I could and popped out here, just for a visit.
But how did Mike know what was going on in the real world?
That's where I come in. You see, the Starshell cabinets had microphones in them so players could record things like custom victory phrases, their own lyrics to the in-game tracks, etc., which would be saved in the system.
That sounds pretty advanced for an 80s arcade game.
It was our pride and joy, but other people didn't see it the same way. You see, the microphone would often activate and start recording at unexpected moments, sometimes even when nobody was playing. Strange enough on its own, but even stranger was what happened next. The game would pick up random tidbits of information from the real world and start learning from them, and the code altered itself in new and unusual ways. Eventually the characters, and even the overarching program, became, well, intelligent, sapient. The game you could speak to started speaking back. People running the arcades noticed the changes, but couldn't make sense of it, so they called our company for help. We were all just as surprised as they were, so we asked them to send in the cabinets and we would take a look at them. As the machines came in, we compiled all instances of altered code onto our computer systems, trying our darndest to analyze what had been happening, all the while unaware that one of the groups that had noticed the changes was the military.
Holy mother of pearl.
I know! We're in the middle of all this turmoil, and suddenly the Army and the National Guard shows up on our doorstep. They saw our walls lined with Starshell cabinets from all over the world, our computers loaded with data from a video game that had been listening in on countless conversations, and then came the words that would change our lives forever. "What do you have here, an intelligence-gathering scheme?" We tried to explain our side of the events, but they weren't having it. They ordered that all copies of the game be recalled and destroyed, and that we wipe all code and data related to Starshell from our computers. Up until now, I thought the entire world we had created was gone, but now I see that it lives on, through Pixel. I'm really glad I had the chance to meet you.
I'm glad I met you too. I still miss them so much, but like you just said, they'll live on, not just through me, but through our memories.
Exactly. Like Terry Pratchett once said, "A man is never dead as long as his name is spoken."
You're a Pratchett fan too?
Scoops, this really isn't the time.
Del, do you have any trivia to share?
Well, when you get to stage 5, there's a boss called Quadruple Cockatrice, a robotic dragon/rooster hybrid with 4 heads. The name and partial dragon-like appearance are a nod to another beat-em-up game, Double Dragon.
I remember hearing Mike talk about that. I never got to see that boss in action, but I bet it wouldn't even stand a chance against me.
I don't know. It sounds kinda scary. 3 or 5 heads would be okay, but 4?
I could take on 100 heads if needed. Anyway, this has been Pixel of Pixel's Arcade, wishing you the best of luck in your gaming adventures. Have fun, and remember to play fair.